What is up, guys? Arcane Cannon here, bringing you guys another YouTube video. Today's video is going to be the Battlegrounds update that recently came out. Apex Legends kind of launched their update into Battlegrounds as well, so it's been kind of hard trying to juggle the two games. I apologize for this being a couple days late, but I still wanted to do the video since I said I would from when Bigglesworth came and I said I'd update you guys on the next patch and what have you. So anyway, let's take a look and see what we're working with here. Gentle Megasaur has been removed from the Battlegrounds minion pool. I find this interesting. Like I said in the last upgrade or the last update video, I didn't think the problem was necessarily Megasaur as much as I thought it was Toxfin being available on 4, which then gives you access to poison, which then, you can give it to a couple Murlocs and then you scale from there. And it gives you a couple cheese wins here and there. I thought Megasaur was a lot harder to access and a lot harder to get to in some games, because there's games where you take so much damage in the mid game that you don't have the ability to push to 5, and sometimes even if you're at 5, you don't get that triple that you need to look for 6 to get a Megasaur. So I kind of wonder what Murlocs are going to get for a 6 cost, if there even is going to be a replacement for it. I wonder if there's going to be any other Murloc changes to help, compensate them a little bit. Because losing Megasaur, like I said, all you really are losing is you're losing access to Divine Shield. Honestly, you can still do Poisonous Murlocs, no problem. You can still buff them out with HP buffs. It's just you don't have the Divine Shield to get 14 extra attacks on if you're trying to transition and you only have like 2/1 Tide Hunters on your board. But anyway, next minion up is Arcane Cannon. I said this in the last update as well, that Arcane Cannon needed to be removed from the game during that update, because Arcane Cannon pretty much is a 2-drop that dictated whether or not you were going to be able to play the game. And what I mean is that if you had an Arcane Cannon with a bunch of trash tokens on the board and your cannon never got sniped, you're probably going to hit your opponent for like 7 or 8 damage. That's at the start of the game. That's at like tier 2 to tier 3, and then late game, or mid game, sorry, you're going to probably hit them for anywhere between 7 and 15 depending on how lucky you got. Like it's just stupid. The card needed to be removed. I'm glad it's gone. It'll help make the game transition to the late game a little easier. Rabid Sarlisk is up next on tier 2. Its old attack was its old stats were 3 attack, 2 health. Its new stats are 4 attack, 2 health. So it's getting +1 attack. This is actually a big deal on Tavern tier 2 because now it competes with pretty much everything on that tier. You can buy it safely knowing that you're actually going to be able to kill whatever your opponent plays on their Tavern tier 2 turn if you do get it. And that's without buffing it with a death rattle. The one card that comes to mind that matches it now is the +1/+1 when you sell this card to all Bob's minions, the dragon. So now you can easily go into that and know that you're going to kill it and not have to worry about a bad breakpoint where it lives with 1 HP. That's good to see. Beasts are getting a buff for the early game. Looks like Rat Pack is being moved from tier 2 to tier 3. Pack Leader is also being moved from tier 3 to tier 2. So while this may look like a buff for Rat Pack, a nerf for Rat Pack, it's not that big of a deal, honestly. Because if you can get a Pack Leader on tier 2, since there's more of tier 2s in the card pool than there are tier 3s, you can actually set up maybe a Sarlisk. You can set up before you go to tier 3, find that Rat Pack, and then give it the +3 buff to make it a 5/2, or if you're Deathwing, a 7/2, and then, pretty much just annihilate people during the mid game. This is a nerf essentially for Deathwing, because Deathwing didn't really care about flooding the board with Rat Pack as much as he cared about just getting the tokens in general and having the 3/1s to help clean up the board. So it's a little bit of a nerf for him, but if you can get a Pack Leader with Deathwing, you can play your Rat Pack on the next Tavern tier turn, you'll be okay. Instead of spawning 5, you'll spawn 7. I'm sorry, instead of spawning 4, you'll spawn 7. So, or 6 or whatever. So, not too big of a nerf. I think beasts are going to be a bit more interesting to play. They're going to be a bit more fluid. So, up next is Monstrous Mccall. Its old attack was 3. Its old health was 2. Its new stats are 4 attack, 3 health, so +1/+1. I think this is pretty good. This is okay. I don't think it's game-breaking or game-changing. It may help keep the Mccall alive if you happen to get a gold run and get the buff. It may make a difference if you get Mama Bear as well. But anyway, on to Primal Fin Lookout. So like I said up top, with the Megasaur changes, I thought maybe they might compensate the Murlocs in some way, and it looks like they are. So they're moving Primal Fin, I believe, back to tier 4, because that's where it was originally. And now it only discovers minions from your current Tavern tier or below. So this is actually pretty interesting. So you can go, because most times if you're running a Murloc build and you're doing well with it, you shoot straight from 4 to 5 anyway. So this doesn't hurt there. Now you have more Primal Fins in the pool to look for, which isn't too bad. So if you happen to get an early Bran, you now have more Primal Fins to play around with. You can easily get a Bagurgle, because you're going to shoot to 5. You can still get your other health Murlocs, and even if you can't get off of, tier 4 to tier 5, because you're not sure if you have the HP for it, Primal Fin's still going to be a good card to find, because it's going to give you that extra HP, it can give you a Toxfin, it can give you a Clutch Triple, and maybe that you get 5 off of, and you get your Bran, and you don't even have to go to 5 to get a Bagurgle. You sit on 4 for a little while with Primal Fins constantly popping in your pool, and, you still can scale Murlocs pretty well, pretty efficiently. Is it going to be harder? Yeah, but, I think this is a pretty good change for Murlocs. I think it's a good buff. Up next is Nat Pagel, Extreme Angler. His old was Overkill, summon at 0/2 chest. His new, after this attacks and kills a minion, add a random minion to your hand. Okay, minions generated are from your tavern tier or below. I guess. I mean, I don't really understand this change. I know Nat Pagel can be really, really overpowered if you happen to, roll into another Nat Pagel off of the chest, and, he overkills something, and then you just have, like, infinite minions on your board again, almost like the pirate ship when it explodes, except for 20 times worse, because they're all, like, gold minions with super high stats. So, I don't know how I feel about this change. I guess it's just +1 gold if Nat Pagel kills something, so I guess it adds to the pirate theme, and maybe you'll get lucky and generate the looter or whatever, or the free-dealing gambler, and then you'll get 4 gold. Or maybe you'll get a triple somehow. I mean, it's what, 1 out of whatever the card pool is on 5, right? Plus all the tiers below. Who knows, maybe you'll get lucky. Anyway, I don't want to think about Pagel, that just seems weird. Mama Bear. Old tier 6, 5 attack, 5 health. Whenever you summon a beast, give it +5/+5. New tier 5, 4 attack, 4 health. Whenever you summon a beast, give it +4/+4. So I believe this was the nerfed Mama Bear. So they're putting it on 5 now. That is kind of interesting, because Goldrin is on 6. Beast didn't have, I don't believe, outside of Direhorn, a 5-cost beast. Once they moved Goldrin to 6 on the one patch where it happened. I can't remember if it was the initial Pirates patch. I think it was one of the hotfix patches, actually, after Pirates came out, that Goldrin got moved to 6, because Mccall was so powerful with it that you just have, like, 100 beasts just from attacking with one parrot. But I am glad to see Mama Bear get moved to 5. I mean, it makes it more useful. Honestly, actually, I'm not even sure if it makes it useful. Mama Bear is a card like Pack Leader where if you can move it to a Tavern tier earlier in the build, it makes Beast feel a little more comfortable. So even if you could move it down to like a Tavern tier 3 or a Tavern tier 4 and give it maybe like +2/+2 or +3/+3, I think that would almost be better. Because by the time you get the Tavern tier 5, your build's already going to be set for the most part. The only thing you're probably adding is a Goldrin and maybe a Monstrous Mccall. I guess if you triple out Mccall and you have a Mama Bear, you can play the Mama Bear and give it +4/+4 when you triple it. But outside of that, I really don't see Mama Bear being that great. I don't know. I just never liked Mama Bear in the upper tiers. I think cards that like this that buff when a beast is on the board or when a beast is summoned, or any type of minion is summoned, it needs to be earlier in the tier to help get the most benefit out of it, so you can help. It just feels clunky. Anyway, Goldrin the Great Wolf. Old Death Rattle, give your beast +4/+4. New Death Rattle, give your beast +5/+5. So they buff Goldrin by +1/+1. Yeah. So if you happen to get to a Macaw, and you happen to get a Baron, you probably win the game now. With no Divine Shield Poisons Murlocs, you're probably going to hit over top of the Murlocs. So there you go. There's a Golden Ray of Light for you. Especially if you have like 2 Hydras or something. Just makes Goldrin that much better. Pretty much solidifies the fact that he's never going back to a 5-cost card. We'll see where the Mama Bear card sits. Like I said, I do have my concerns about it. Anyway, Battlegrounds hero updates. Lady Vosh has been removed from the Battlegrounds hero pool, and if you remember, Lady Vosh was the one where whenever you upgraded your tavern, all the minions in the current shop would upgrade to a tavern 1+ what they already were. So if you had a couple 1s in there, they'd turn to 2. If you had a 2, it'd turn to 3, and so on and so forth. Captain Eudora. Buried treasure. Old. Dig for a gold minion, 4 digs left. New. Dig for a gold minion, 5 digs left. So they up the digs by 1. I think this is gonna help out the early to mid game, so people aren't getting instantly killed. Whoever the poor guy is that has to face Eudora when she gets her golden minion, it helps mitigate how much damage they're gonna take by a little bit. I believe this pushes it to, I believe Tavern Tier 3, the turn where everybody goes to 3. So I think that's a pretty big deal. But anyway, Eudora nerf, she's way too strong anyway, as she was, especially if you can get a gold grubber off of 3. And then just scale that and pretty much just murder everybody that's playing against you. Great times. Gonna be rich. Now costs 0. Okay. I actually like this change. I think this is an amazing change for Reno. Because more times than not as Reno Jackson, if you're going for like a 5 cost minion and you absolutely want to golden it the turn that you get it, most times you have to wait because you've probably rolled or you've leveled and you're trying to get the minion and whatnot. Now you can just level you can level by your minion if it's bear and you can golden it right away. And you get your 3 death rattles and life is good. You don't have to wait till the next turn to take 2 gold from yourself and make your turn less gold efficient. So it's a good change. I think Reno's going to be really, really strong coming into the next patch. Reborn Rites, the Lich King. Costs 1 originally, now costs 0. I think that this one is going to be another one that's going to be amazing. The Lich King no longer has to pony up 1 gold, so he can, roll and buy and be efficient with his turn. Pretty good. I think that it's going to be interesting to see like what comes out of this in the early game, especially. You're pretty much never going to lose an early game matchup. I'm pretty sure this beats out most even Yogg minions, honestly. So if that tells you anything, it puts him on par with Yogg-Saron. Galakrond. Galakron's Greed. Now freezes the minion added to Bob's Tavern. Oh, that's a great change, actually. So if I understand this correctly, then that means that the minion you cast the hero power on, it freezes, and the rest of the minions, you don't have to worry about freezing your board every time you upgrade. So the problem with Galakron is that whenever you used his hero power, you always had to freeze afterwards, otherwise, when you came back, the minion that you upgraded would be gone. So this is an amazing change for Galakron. It makes the hero power feel less clunky. I think Galakron's win rate might actually jump just because of this change. Because now you can keep scaling that 1 minion that you were looking to scale while also getting new minions as you level up. You don't have to worry about sitting on Tavern Tier 1 with Tavern Tier 1 minions. So pretty good. I honestly can't wait to try out some of these new heroes and see how the changes feel. And all this down here I think is just bug fixes for the base game. Okay. So that's pretty much it for the patch, guys. The TLDR. Beasts are getting a buff. They're actually going to be semi-viable or semi-functional in the early to mid-game. Especially with the pack leader changes. I think that's an exceptional change. Rat Pack going to 3 makes the pack leader feel a little bit better to use now. Because now when you go to 3, if you happen to transition straight into a Rat Pack, you are on your way. I had to cough. The removal of Megasaur, I don't think is going to hurt Murlocs that much. You can still do Toxfin health builds. It doesn't remove that. You just lose the easy transition in Divine Shield Poisonous that can easily win you games. You now have to commit to Murlocs earlier on than trying to transition late game. Arcane Cannon has been removed. Big deal. That means the mid game is going to be a little slower as well. So pretty excited for that. I'm expecting to not take as much damage, since more minions are going to die and there's not as much free damage on Tavern Tier 2 going out. Beast good. Murlocs. Murlocs are going to be interesting with the Primal Fin lookout. I'll have to play Murlocs a couple times just to, see how this change feels. Like I said, most times if you go to 4 with Murlocs, you're going to 5 anyway on the next turn. So there's just going to be more Primal Fins in the pool, and you got to find your brand a little quicker. So that way you can take advantage of the Primal Fin lookouts. Nat Pagel. Change. Mama Bear doesn't really do much for beasts unless you're going to completely sell your board and, reacquire all your beasts. I think this card needs to be on a lower tier with a different effect, like +2/+2 or +3/+3. I think that would be better for beasts. It would help them, again, get off the ground. Having War Leader give 3 attack is good, but I think this would probably be a better War Leader, almost. I don't know. I don't think buff cards like this should be on the upper tiers. Like, if it was a death rattle, I think that would be fine, like Goldrinn here. But it would obviously be copying Goldrinn, so. Goldrinn change doesn't really matter that much. If you get a Goldrinn on 6 and you have Mccall with Baron, you're going to win anyway. Or you're going to hit hard anyway. You know, especially with the Murlocs losing Divine Shield, you can probably hit over Murlocs now. Vash gone. Eudora nerfed. Going to be rich. You're going to be rich and wins, for sure. Great change here. Lich King now becomes one of the more powerful early game heroes, probably the top early game hero, honestly. Galakron, major buff here. Feels a bit more responsive to use his hero power. Don't have to worry about the clunkiness of having to constantly freeze your board and fall way behind everybody else to try to get a Tavern Tier 6 minion. So yeah, all in all, good patch. I like this patch. I'll probably be playing some games at some point this week. I'll put the link down below for the Twitch if you guys want to come hang out and watch. You know, give me your thoughts on the patch. Give me your thoughts down below as well. If you guys just want to come on the stream as well and give me your thoughts when I'm streaming, when I'm live, so I can actually respond and converse, that's cool too. We're doing a lot of things on the Twitch right now. We're doing Hearthstone probably here soon. We're doing some Apex Legends, new Legend drop, doing Fall Guys. Wanted to get back into Overwatch at some point, a little bit before Overwatch 2 comes out so I can get used to it again. Yeah, we're playing a lot of games here. We're having a lot of fun doing League of Legends as well, getting ready for the big item change in the preseason. So come hang out, come say hi. With that, guys, I'm out. Let me know what you guys think of the Hearthstone changes, and I'll see you guys in the next video.